Today, we're going to drop in on a topic that will keep us safe when we're off the ground. Some people think that working off the ground is as dangerous as walking a tightrope. These workers expect to plummet to their demise any time they work up high. It's true that above ground level, our feeling of security may drop dramatically.
In fact, without proper training, working off the ground can be deadly. But by exercising caution, we can work safely whether we're climbing ladders, standing on scaffolding, or working on the cables of a suspension bridge.
Combating the dangers of working off the ground begins with you. Don't take your safety or anyone else's lightly. You can avoid accidents by placing safety at the top of your priority list. Proper work practices are important for any job, but when you're up there, the risk of an accident is heightened, and following standard safety procedures becomes even more important. For instance, if you need to climb a ladder to get where you're going, inspect the rungs before you go up. Make sure they're in good condition. While you're climbing, practice the three-point climb. This means keeping two hands and a foot, or one hand and 2 feet in contact with the ladder at all times. Keeping your weight centered between the rails will help you maintain your balance and reduce the chance of a fall. Specialized equipment like lift buckets and cherry pickers require extra protection. Don't forget to hook up your lifeline. When you're on the move, watch your step. Be on the lookout for trip hazards. Do your part by practicing proper housekeeping. Maintain a neat work area so that no one trips on leftover tools and clutter. Pay attention to warning signs. They mark the point where you cross into fall protection territory. Signs will also tell you whether certain areas are restricted to workers wearing fall protection equipment. Don't work above the ground if you're taking medication that could make you drowsy, and never work after drinking alcohol. These things impair your reflexes and increase the chance of a dangerous fall. Once you've gotten the basics down, it's important to take a close look at your facility's fall protection plan. Fall protection plans focus on locations where falls could lead to serious injuries. The height at which protection is required depends on the type of work you do. On most work sites, protection begins at 4 feet off the ground. But in the construction industry, precautions aren't required until you're 6 feet off the ground. Workers must be protected from falling by at least one of the following: guardrails, safety nets, or personal protective equipment. A system of guardrails is one of the easiest ways to prevent falls from ledges. Rails can be set up either as temporary or permanent controls. They must rise between 39 and 45 inches above the walking surface and support a force of 200 pounds, the weight of the average worker. Safety nets are often used in areas where guardrails aren't always practical. There are essentially two kinds of nets.
Personnel nets are designed with heavy-duty webbing that can catch workers,
while debris nets are woven with much finer webbing to capture falling objects before they injure someone beneath them. All nets must be kept in good condition. Inspect them at least once a week and after they catch anything that might have damaged the webbing. Remove tools and other materials caught in a net as quickly as possible. You may not think to take the time, but leaving these things in the net creates a safety hazard. Of course, we should take precautions to prevent objects from falling in the first place. Most facilities do this by installing toe boards or screens just above the level of the walking surface. Toe boards and screens block tools and materials from slipping over the edge. In elevated areas with unprotected sides and edges, personal fall arrest systems are a must. Before you make use of these systems in the field, you should test them out to see how they feel. A secure fit provides the most protection in the event of a fall. Personal fall arrest systems consist of a body-holding device, a connecting device, and an anchor point. The best body-holding gear to use with these systems is a full-body harness. At the end of a fall, when the lifeline grabs tight, the harness spreads out the effect of the shock over the shoulders, buttocks, and thighs. Harnesses are fitted with D-rings for attachment. Always use the one at the center of the upper back when you attach the connecting device. This will help the harness evenly distribute your weight during a fall. Connecting devices such as lanyards and retracting lifelines link you and the safety harness to the anchor point. A lanyard is a short rope or strap that only lets you fall a short distance. Lanyards over 2 feet in length should be fitted with shock-absorbing options, which reduce the force of a fall. Self-retracting lifelines have a drum-wound line which allows for a wider range of movement. In the event of a fall, a braking mechanism will quickly stop your descent. Be careful when using self-retracting lifelines for horizontal movement. Moving more than 4 feet from the anchor point with these devices may leave you vulnerable to a swing fall. This occurs when you swing back toward the anchor point. The impact of hitting the side of a building or other surface during a swing fall can be just as serious as an unprotected fall. Both lanyards and retracting lifelines are fitted with snap hooks. Make sure the hooks are securely locked in place before you climb. This will prevent a rollout of the hook, which could lead to a nasty plunge. Anchor points provide the third element in a personal fall arrest system. To keep you safe, an anchor point must support 5,000 pounds for each employee connected to the anchor. When you're setting up your own anchor point, make sure that it's secure. Never use pipes or electrical conduits as anchors. They can easily break free under the force of your falling weight. Bosun's chairs are often used with vertical lifelines. These support your weight when you're working off the side of a structure. If you use a bosun's chair, you must also wear a full-body harness for complete protection. This harness must be connected to a second separate lifeline. When your job calls for some mobility, you need to hook up to a fixed lifeline. These systems allow you to work safely in either a horizontal or vertical direction. Horizontal systems are designed to be rigged between 2 fixed anchor points. They allow you to safely walk across a surface from one point to another without having to detach your lanyard. Horizontal lifelines must be set up by qualified workers. Vertical systems allow workers to safely move up and down within a work area. Remember, connection devices hooked up to vertical rails or lifelines must be fitted with automatic braking devices. These grab onto the track or lifeline to prevent further fall. Your safety depends on the effectiveness of each element in the fall protection system. So it's important to inspect your equipment before you use it. Look out for frayed or broken straps on your harness. The D-ring must not be bent out of shape, and make sure it's securely attached. You should also look for tears or missing stitches that could allow the D-ring to rip free in a fall. Damage to any part of the harness compromises your safety. If you find any problems, get a new one. Working above ground level can be safe and easy for everyone if you stick to the rules. Let's review. Be aware of hazardous areas and know what you need to do to protect yourself. Follow safe work practices. Don't risk an accident. Practice good housekeeping. Keep materials and tools away from edges and out of walkways. Climb ladders with care. Keep your weight centered between the rails. Use the personal fall arrest system that's right for the job. Inspect it before each use. If you follow your facility's fall protection program and remember to work safely, you'll never find yourself hanging by a thread while you're off the ground.